Still think to this day is one of the lowest points in my life. I was having dinner with my boyfriend at one of the local Italian places. The food is so good that when you are eating, if you close your eyes, like you really close your eyes, you can almost feel like you are in Sicily. We were playing this game where you ask each other 3 questions. So for example, what are your 3 happiest moments that you can remember? What are 3 things that you are proud of? And he asked me, what are my 3 biggest regrets? One of the first things that I thought of was all the years that I've spent chasing toxic relationships, unavailable men, and things like that. So I want to share a few of those, and maybe you will have your light bulb moment and you will be like, oh, okay, maybe it's time to leave this situation. So I was seeing this guy, all the best stories start with I was seeing this guy. And when I met him, surprise, surprise, for some reason, he forgot to tell me that he was married and he had children. I just assumed that because he was seeing me and he was taking me to places, he introduced me to his friends, cousins, I just assumed that he is single. Anyway, later I learned that you actually have to ask those things, you can't assume. So a little something for you in case you don't know that. And this thing happened, which I still think to this day is one of the lowest points in my life. I was going with him through his neighborhood and we were in his car, and I don't exactly remember the reason he told me why I have to do that, but I had to lay low, and whether it was for what was it that he said? Because of his community, of culture, religion, I don't actually, it was one of those things, like I was quite brainwashed at that point. And he told me when we were going through his neighborhood to put a baseball hat and just lay low so people couldn't see me. And I did that. I put that baseball hat and I just, scooched down and I laid low. Now when I think about this, like, what is wrong with you, woman? Why would you do that? Why do you not have any self-respect? Like, what is this? But at that point, I was just in this place where I didn't have much self-esteem. I was very much a people pleaser, and I was willing to do whatever it took to keep that person in my life. So when this happened, at that point, I think deep down, something felt a bit icky, but for the majority of it, I was just thinking, yeah, I do understand him, and I'm helping, I'm being accommodating, the Gemini thing, we are like chameleons. We are able to get in that situation and scooch, put a baseball hat, you name it, we will do it. Oh dear. Anyway, so that was that. Another little story was I was seeing this guy, as I said, all the best stories start with I was seeing this guy. I think I talk about that story in my book, Why Am I Still Single book, The Truth I Wish My Mom Told Me About Men. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I was seeing this guy and it was just this on and off thing and not good, very toxic for I think a couple of years. And then I made a decision that I finally moved away from that relationship. I moved to another city to have a fresh start, but at that point I was still not able to let go of that relationship, and that communication continued, and we were still interacting with each other for a while before the contact broke. After some time, I don't know, 6 months or whatever, and I'm walking down the street with my friend and I see him coming towards with a pushchair and what I assumed was his missus. And inside the pushchair there was a baby. I'm not very good at math, but I did quick calculations, which made me realize that at the time when he was saying, that relationship didn't exist anymore and I'm the only person. He was basically sleeping with me and he was sleeping with this other woman. This is shitty situation, but you know what was more shitty? Was that when that thing happened, when I saw him, I was with my friend and we went into the shop and we were just browsing, and she said, "Are you okay?" And I just played it so cool, like nothing actually happened. But now when I think about it, I could even feel, in my body, like I'm just having this out of the body experience and I'm in shock. How did this happen? I thought I was able to see things and I was smart or whatever. I was able to learn from my previous relationship, but I wasn't. How could this happen? But the thing was that I was in this place where, firstly, I was not even able to acknowledge my feelings and how I was feeling. Secondly, I was so concerned with how my friend is going to view me. I wanted her to see, that I've got it all together, that I'm not bothered, that this guy is done and dusted, that I don't care. So I was just holding these things inside and I wasn't even acknowledging, all these things that happen when you're feeling shitty and all that. And if you just bury that with eating ice cream, shopping, whatever your thing is, if you're just doing that, it's very important to live that, to experience that. Otherwise, like, you just bottle all up, and then when it comes out, it's just going to be a disaster. So yeah, that's that. Wow. Just thinking about all that stuff got me all sweating. Now, if you are someone who is experiencing a similar situation, not maybe as low as hiding yourself with a baseball hat, but I'd like to hear, what is some of maybe your low points, whether you could share that in the comments, or if you don't feel comfortable, please reach out to me on Instagram. I'd love to hear, what is some of the low points in your relationships. I hope I can be someone that you can see and be like, okay, I can see that she was making not very good decisions, but she learned from that and now she's in a healthy relationship. And maybe if I change a couple of things, I can do that as well. You can definitely get there, trust me. Now, if you're ready to get there, like this video. Make sure that you check out these other videos on my channel that I think you'll find quite useful. And for more videos like that, subscribe and hit notifications. Thank you so, so much for watching. Always remember that you're worthy of love. See ya. Wow.